Senior Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding for Senior Report is provided in part by a grant from Andrew Goodell, Assemblyman for the 150th District of the New York State Assembly. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the Docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
Top of the morning to you. Our boy Reed is somewhere down, I think, in New York City, disembarking from a ship. He just spent a couple of weeks out at sea, and we were hoping to have him call in this morning, but we got word that evidently things are not going according to schedule. Imagine that. Carnival's kind of taken a hit this past few months. I was talking with our guest earlier, and there was a Carnival ship that they had another problem with their generator, and they're not even leaving dock. So they had to cancel everybody and send them home. What a shame. You spend all that time and energy getting ready for a vacation, and it didn't work out. But I gotta tell you, my wife Barb and I, we've cruised 4 times, and it's great. I don't care what people say. It's a good time, and it's nice to be pampered and eat some really interesting exotic food sometimes and so forth. So, folks, this is a call-in show. Buddy Jeff just put this up here. You can call us anytime during the show, 753-5225. I'm Doc Hamels. I'll be your host for today. And I'm wearing a little bit of the green, and it's the St. Patrick's Day weekend. And I hope you're being wise in how you celebrate this weekend. Have a little corned beef and some cabbage. Have a few libations and enjoy the weekend. I know a lot of people are. Last night, Bill and I were up in the Buffalo area, and we were playing at a really fine establishment called Malone's Irish Bar, and boy, the people were clapping and singing with us, and it was a great time. And you know, you don't really realize, but this whole region really has a strong Irish influence as Irish folks migrated from Ireland, and some through Canada down into Buffalo and down Chautauqua County all the way down through. But there's a lot, and especially up in Buffalo. It's very interesting to see how many folks have Irish heritage, including myself. That was our history. My grandmother and her brothers came over through Canada, up in the Hamilton, Toronto area, and then came down into Buffalo, and then made their home here. So happy St. Patrick's Day, all of you. Everybody's a little bit Irish this week, and I think my guest is also very Irish, and you'll see here in a little bit. All right, well, we got all kinds of things going on this week. The Roman Catholic Church has a new Pope, Pope Francis. Wow, exciting news. That didn't take too long, only 3 votes. And but you know, it's so interesting, you know, in the news you say, oh, it's so wonderful, all this is happening, and then you hear they didn't like him in Argentina and all this stuff. Boy, you just can't please everybody, I guess. What a shame. But anyways, lots of interesting news. I was reminded that this show, folks, is your show, as Reed will often say. And if you have an anniversary you want to announce or share, a birthday, a special event, you have with your organizations or travel clubs, senior citizen groups, call in anytime. This is Saturday morning right now. We're live. And you can call that number 753-5225 or 753-JACK. Thank you, Jeff. And this is really for all of you. This goes across the entire county, and it's free of charge. We don't charge anything. Just call the number. Wonderful voice will answer at the other end, and we'll help you get your information out to the rest of the county. Now, when you do call in, we don't often mention this, but if you are the first caller, you're going to hear me talking or Reed talking, whoever's hosting the show. Don't say anything until we say, good morning, caller, and then that'll be your cue to talk. If you're the second or third caller, we put you on hold and all you hear is dead silence. We don't have really cool Irish music or anything like that in the background, so you just wait. Don't hang up. We'll get to you. And as soon as the other caller's done, we'll punch you through, okay? The reason why I know this is because when I'm not sitting in this chair, I'm over in the other part of the studio taking calls. So anyways. But I do have a special birthday today that I want to share with you. And I think almost everybody in the county knows this gentleman. He goes back with me probably close to 37 years, 36 years. Today is a special birthday to my very dear friend, Bob Terryberry. He now lives in Maple Springs area. He used to live in Jamestown. He was involved with theater and so forth. And as a rule, a good protocol is you don't tell anybody how old they are, especially on television. And I know this is going out the Jamestown area, and maybe Bob is watching, so I'm not going to mention his age. But I will tell you, if you're curious, how you can figure out how old Bob is. I'm 61, okay? Bob's 10 years older than me, but you didn't hear that from me. So, happy birthday, Bob. He's a dear friend, longtime colleague. We used to teach in the same classroom together. That's how well we know each other. We were considered a couple of the long-haired hippies.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Malakowski.
Whoa, where's that coming from? That's scary when you hear things in your earpiece. I don't know, did you just hear that? Okay, so it wasn't just me. All of a sudden you hear something out of this disembodied body voice, and it's in your earpiece. Oh, thank you, that woke me up. Anyways, happy birthday, Bob, and many, many more, and hopefully I'll give you a call later today. All right. You know, in the area here, we mentioned last week that there's senior citizens groups, and we try to remember to mention that, because this is specifically geared towards senior citizens. And I always struggle with, well, what is a senior citizen? If you're AARP, they want you at 50. If you go to Wendy's, or not Wendy's, Denny's restaurant, I think it's 55. Certain places 62. So if you figure you're a senior, this is your gig here. You can do whatever you like. I don't care how old you are. But generally 55 on up. But there's clubs all over the place. And I think we mentioned a few of them, but I don't know if I mentioned the ones down in North Harmony. There's one over in Ellery Center and Findlay Lake. They're in Jamestown. They're in the Post-Journal every week. Look for the senior briefs. It lists everybody there. Don't stay at home. Don't be by yourself. If you're a recent widower, there's time for private time, I know that. But after a while, you need to get back out and be with your friends. And many of these people you're going to recognize in your hometown and that. And it's a great time, and they're very caring, and they welcome you with open arms. Usually there's a very small membership fee and so forth. I did get a blurb over the email the other day. And this is from Gene Kelsey from the Mayville Senior Citizens, and I just want to give you a quick report because that's the only senior news that I actually have for today. And Gene, I'll just highlight it, but Gene mentions that there was 52 members at the Senior Citizens in Mayville at the VFW on March 7th, and they had some fun and lunch. Goes through a variety of things where they talked about who was talking, and there was one gal, the chaplain Diane Goodrich. What a character. She not only she did the prayer, but she was giving us quite a few little jokes, and a couple of them were very funny. Then they shared a variety of things, and then they have a very nice piece here that says that Bill Tornston introduced Bill and Doc. Imagine who that could be. And this is their words now, I'm not making this up, provided wonderful Irish music. They sang favorite tunes, and they had a group clapping and singing along, and these gentlemen were a real treat, and hopefully will return in the future. You bet we will. The next meeting of the Mayville Seniors will be March 21 at the Mayville VFW at 12 o'clock. Bring a dish to pass in your own table service, and be prepared for a surprise. The program chair, Torstens, advises that there will be a mystery guest. So I know who it is. I can't tell you. I've been sworn to secrecy, and him being a deputy sheriff, if I do anything on the air, I'm sure he'll track me down and put me away for a while. But that's coming up on March 21st, a mystery guest. I'm a little stuffy this morning, sang all night last night, so I'm trying to do the best I can with it all. Okay, so that's the Mayville Senior Citizens. I noticed something in the paper this week, which is kind of interesting. It kind of goes into what we've all been talking about here for the last few years about Chautauqua County. The constant struggle between what we should be supporting, what we should be paying for, the debt, unemployment, and so forth. And this was in the Post-Journal on Friday, just yesterday. And not that I want to quote this particular article in full detail, but just think about when we hear things about what's going on in the county, why they're doing what they're doing, why are they trying to cut, why are they trying to sell things, and so forth. It says here in the census that just came out in 2010, it shows that one out of every 3 counties in the United States is dying off. And what do you mean by that? Well, basically what they're saying is that the population is aging, and that there isn't a generation coming up that's replacing one for one those people that are aging out, that are passing on. And so our counties are actually shrinking in many cases. And when you think about it, so if we're shrinking, then the services that we had for 20 years ago are no longer necessary. The volume of business that we might have had is shrinking. So this is just a natural occurrence that's taking place. So when you get frustrated when things are being cut or trimmed, it may be just because we're doing right sizing or downsizing, which is an appropriate thing, perhaps. Okay, something to think about. But anyways, kind of keep an eye on that. And where they are booming, the interesting thing is it's not so much that we've got so many Americans that are being born, because we are growing, but at a slow rate. But that many of the folks that are replacing those that are moving on or aging out are actually immigrants. And I know there's a raging debate about immigration and so forth, but people that I know that down south are very quiet about this. But they say they can't run their businesses because there aren't enough people. There aren't enough skilled laborers. There aren't enough people to do some of the unskilled labor. And so just like my ancestors came over, they weren't skilled. They were waiters, waitresses, they worked in hotels or whatever. They did the necessary work. So a lot of these folks down there are doing the necessary work to keep this country running. So hopefully they can solve that immigration issue here. I know that they're working on that in Washington. But anyways, the point is our counties are shrinking through natural causes, and maybe someday we'll have another boom. But right now, as baby boomers are aging out, and there's fewer and fewer behind us. So something to think about. Last week I talked to you a little bit about something that I had done with defensive driving course online. And I don't know if any of you are comfortable with it, but I got to tell you, it's very, very simple. You just you have your credit card ready, you have your AAA card or whatever organization you belong to with that has driver safety, and you plug in the information, you take it online, it's timed, and it take a month to take it, and there's a little quiz, 5 questions, you answer it. If you mess up, you get test anxiety, you take it again, and then you move on to the next section and so forth. That saves you a few $100s on your insurance each year. Today I want to tell you a little bit about another cost savings measure that I've been dabbling with. And I'm not a tech freak, but I do like to use technology when possible in software. And this next one is something that my credit union, or perhaps you have it at your banks. I know there's a lot of retired teachers that watch this show. So at your local credit unions, they have online bill paying. It's a little scary at first when you think about it. Say, oh, they're not going to pay my bills. They're going to get into my money. It doesn't work that way. You set up in your account all the different companies that you want to pay bills to. All right. And for instance, let's take an example of National Fuel. All right. Everybody has National Fuel, I think, in the area. You put the information in, the address, phone number, and so forth in this little screen, and you save it. And when it's time to pay your bill, you tell the credit union, you tell your bank, you want to pay your bill. You tell how much, you push a button, and they pay it electronically. So where's the savings? No postage. You can take a trip. You can be anywhere in the world. If you've got one of these smartphones, you can do your online banking, your bill paying that way. Takes a lot of stress. I've got about 12 different bill payees that I have set up. So when we take a trip or go on a cruise, whatever it is, you can take care of all that paperwork right there. Saves maybe $60 to $100 maybe a year or even more, depending on how many bills that you pay. Now I know the post offices are probably happy to hear this or talk about closing Saturdays, but it's your money and you can do what you want. And if you're comfortable with your bank or your credit union, look into that. So there's something to think about. So you can save money with your insurance, with defensive driving, and you can pay your bills online and save some money that way too. Okay, we talked about that. Something that I want to promote today is my dear friends at the Safety Village. The Children's Safety Village, Terry Kinberg and the crew over there, they are having a big special Easter Carnival, and we're going to bring up the poster here in a second. Through the magic of television, look at that, imagine that. It's going to be Saturday, March 30th. I think that's, what's today? 2 weeks from today, from 10:30 to 1:30, as you can see on the screen. And they're going to have this big Easter Carnival, and they're going to have candy and prizes and a Chinese auction. I know our Rotary Club is putting together baskets for it. There's going to be train rides. It's a great, fun day for the kids to go and have a nice, safe opportunity to celebrate Easter. There's going to be a parade I see at noon. They've got games. If you've never been to the Safety Village, what a wonderful asset to Chautauqua County. And it's going to, very minimal charge. I think I just saw $1 and so forth. Thanks, Jeff. Where did I just see that? It must be somewhere on there. Well, we won't worry about it, but it's a very, very small fee, and you can win. The kids can win a bike. So we're good on that now. Thank you. And but the monies go to help support the Safety Village, the various programs they have there, and they teach children about fire safety, pedestrian safety, traffic safety, all kinds of things. It's a great program. If you haven't been out there, go stop by. Especially during the day, you can have a little walk around. If Terry or some of the crew are there, they can give you a little tour. Call the number over there, and you bring a group there. They have a room there, a beautiful boardroom, and facilities, classrooms that you can have your club meetings there and so forth. Just a great place. So March 30th, the Children's Safety Village is having their Easter Carnival, and if you haven't been there before, it's lots of parking there. They have their Halloween festivities there, the Easter festivities, and I'll be there with a very special service. Now, there's another ad I'm going to do. I'm always promoting groups. The Masonic group, the Masons from Chautauqua County, will be doing the Child ID program at the Easter Carnival. All right? And you might say, what in the world is that? Basically, what we do is we bring the children in one at a time. Usually we have 5 or 6 Masons. I'm one of them. And we we have parents fill out the information about the child, their weight, their height, their addresses, phone numbers, and so forth. We put this all into the computer. We take the children's fingerprints electronically. Very cool. The kids love this because they see their fingerprints show up on the computer screen. Then we take their picture, front and the side, and then the side. We put all this information in a little DVD disc, and then we give it to the parents, and then now they have a permanent record of their child's fingerprints and so forth, in case they get lost, if you're on a trip. I lost my son Justin in Walmart one year. We couldn't find him. People say, what was he wearing? Well, I don't know. What's he look like? We didn't even, you don't have it with you, but if you had this little disc, you pop into a computer with the security folks, they can bring it up real quick, and everybody can look for your child. Sometimes at the county fair, kids get a little bit lost, and you have this information right away. And hopefully you never have to use it for any other purposes, but it's there and for your own sake of mind. So, that's at the Children's Safety Village Easter Carnival on March 30th. I have a little good news, personal news. This is good stuff. Last night as I was packing up in Buffalo, coming home with my wife after singing our Irish tunes, I got a call from my son down in Florida, and there's a new baby Hamels. Raleigh William Michael Hamels was born, and everything is doing well. Mother and father are surviving, and the baby looks great. So we're very happy about that. Okay, we're going to take a little break here in a second. Remember, folks, this is a call-in show. Don't be shy. It's real easy to do. 753-5225 is a call-in. Thank you. We want your calls. We want to hear from you. We have some folks that call in from time to time on a regular basis. That's all right, but we want to hear from others of you. So, folks, right now, we're going to take a little break with the PSA, and then we're going to get to our guests. This is for you.
In order to beat breast cancer, I knew I would have to lose my breasts. But to reclaim my life, I chose breast reconstruction.
Each year, nearly 150,000 women will learn they will undergo a mastectomy due to breast cancer. But 7 out of 10 women are never told about their breast reconstruction options. Breast reconstruction is a very important part of the healing process, both physically and emotionally. Download my song Flower to share the message and help us share the fact that women can feel whole again.
All right, we're over at this camera. Here we go. I'm looking around and go, where am I? That was a great ad. Thanks, Jeff, for running that one, because going back to my dear friend Bob Terryberry, I'm not sure if it's already happened or not, but they had a special little event in Jamestown, the little black dress event, and it was raising funds for breast cancer awareness. And I know his lovely wife Irene and Bob have a special place in their heart for breast cancer awareness, and they've done. She's done the walk and so forth. So if you see their names, they're associated with a great organization and cause. So hopefully you can support that. All right, enough. I've talked a lot. I'm going to lose my voice here in a minute. My guest today is a very lovely lady. I've known her for a number of years, and she's been in a variety of different positions I've known her in. And I know her husband quite well. We're fellow Rotarians. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you today, once again, she's no stranger to television in here, our dear friend, she gets the cough, Katie Smith. She's cleared her voice. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Thank you, Doc.
She's gonna.
The same to you. I brought
there
my
she
St.
goes.
Patrick's
That's
Day
official.
memorabilia. Okay.
Dan, I think she looks better with that than I do.
I've got my green jacket on for
jacket.
St. Patrick's Day and my orange to celebrate the YWCA.
All right, so you're all
I'm all decked out.
You're all decked out, looking good.
Great bear finale.
Right. All right. Well, Kate, we're going to talk about a variety of things today, but before we get started, let's hear a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's pretty standard. I actually was born and raised in Chautauqua County, lived in Jamestown, a product of Jamestown High School, Jamestown Community College, Fredonia State University, and Empire State College. So never have been away from Chautauqua County. I've been fortunate to do the work I love right here in Chautauqua County. My family's here, my friends are here, and I've always had a job here. So that's been very good.
See, unlike me, I'm from Buffalo originally, and I can say anything I want about my family because they'll never hear the show.
No, and it's been a long time since I've been on the show, but I'm amazed at how many people do watch it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hear from a lot of people that I saw you on TV, I saw you on TV. So this is very far-reaching, a very good medium to reach out and talk with people.
Right, and people, you got to remember now, we are now in Jamestown and over to Fredonia and Dunkirk, all over the county now. And a lot of times this will be rebroadcasted later on. So if you see the show later week, don't call because we won't be here.
We do catch it occasionally at the Y. We put it on in the afternoon. If we've heard there's been something interesting, something we want to hear about, a little bit more we want to catch up on, we catch that. I think it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. Unfortunately, I can't watch myself unless I go on YouTube, or if I go online, it's streaming on live online. So we're high tech here, high tech.
I was impressed when you told me I could catch it on YouTube, and it was all throughout the county now. So that's pretty good.
So tell me about your family and any personal interests and so forth.
Oh my goodness!
What do you like to do? What makes you tick?
I feel like I do a lot of working. I work a lot. When I have a job, I kind of immerse myself in it, and that's what I do. We're fortunate that we have 2 grown children and we have 3 grandchildren, as you well know. I spend a lot of time with the grandchildren.
Yes, I met them.
They make things a lot of fun. I'm ready for the snow to end so that I can be outside.
Amen to that.
I enjoy being outside. I don't mind the cold. I think you can always put on more coats, more gloves, whatever, and be outside and enjoy things. So, and then Rotary too. As you mentioned, Dean's involved in Rotary, so I help him out with a lot of the things.
Right.
You have an auction coming up, not until May. Auction, Gold Rush. There seems to be always something with Rotary going on, so we keep ourselves pretty busy.
You're sort of like a Rotary wife, aren't you?
Yeah, kind of like a Rotary wife. People keep saying I could join the club, and I keep saying, no, I do enough. I like picking and choosing what I want to do.
All right, well that's fine. Well, Dan is just a pillar of our club and does a lot of great things with the youth of our county and so forth. Okay, well let's move on now.
That's like a segue into youth.
Into youth.
And the Rotary and the Y and the bullying, anti-bullying campaign.
All right, well let's talk about that. Well, I'll let you talk.
Okay. I hate to call it the bullying campaign because that's really not what it was. It's an anti-bullying campaign that Doc brought to the Y, about a month or so ago. We talked about how we could reach out to the youth throughout the county, give them some support. Just an informal way of supporting the youth if they had been subjected to bullying. Oftentimes, I think maybe kids don't know where to go or how to deal with it. It's a big deal, but it may not be a big deal. So on a Saturday afternoon, Rotarians came, YWCA staff and board members came, kids from the Interact clubs came. We all gathered at the Y, took a group picture essentially to stand against bullying. There we are.
Where are you? You are
in the back there, hiding in the back.
Hiding in the back.
Next to Dave Travis, between Dave Travis and Dan, my 2 favorite Rotarians.
Yeah, there you go. Look at the banner in the back, folks. Look at the word club, and Katie is right under the word club, and Dan is in a, what is that, red and blue?
Yep, red and blue.
Shirt right next to her.
And the whole point of this is to get the picture out. It's on Facebook. It's been in the newspapers. Did it make it to YouTube? I'm not technologically advanced.
No, because it's not a video that I'm aware of.
But the picture's out there, and anyone who feels bullied can merely reach out to somebody that's in that picture. If you see the picture, there's more kids on the other side of it. A lot of kids and adults that you can pick up the phone and call. You see them on the street. Hey, I saw your picture. Can you help me out? And although I don't think there's many of us that are professionally trained as child psychologists or counselors, we can put you in touch with somebody who can help you. We can offer you an encouraging word. We can listen to you. We can provide some support. Sometimes maybe that's all you need is somebody to say, oh, that's a terrible thing. I'm sorry you went through that. What can we do about it? Give them the courage and the support to stand up against the bully, to maybe take the next step and report it. It's a kind of a low-tech way to reach out and try to prevent bullying.
Well, Katie, you mentioned about is it on YouTube, and I was just reminded that the picture is on YouTube because and how it came through was through the senior report. Because last week we broadcasted it, and it's going to be on again because of this show. Now, I hope your shamrocks aren't driving people too cuckoo yet.
I'm sorry. I could remove them. I can't sit still, so maybe that is a little too much for people. I'm not able to sit still. Okay, there we go.
We're sitting here talking about very serious things, and I feel like my favorite Martian from Ireland is over here.
Sorry, your head. All right, there we go. All right, we'll take those off. But
That's all right.
It was an easy project.
Right.
The Rotaract kids came, they were wonderful. A lot of Rotarians showed up, and we used the Y as our venue, so we were pleased to be a part of it.
I want to give you an update on that, folks. Thanks, Kitty, for
Okay.
talking about that. That was a great opportunity to get our organizations together. We put it on Facebook, and I think I talked about this last week, but this is sort of an update. If everybody has about 200 friends, I don't know how many you got, but I got about 230 some friends that I've got.
You're a popular man.
Well, I'm selective too. I can have a lot more, but I didn't want to have the whole world.
Okay.
But anyways, we ask people to share it, so which means they take it, copy it, and they send it to their friends. And at this point in time, as of the other day, I calculated if using that formula, about 20,000 people have now seen the picture. All right. Now here's update. My editor at Silver Magazine. All right, Kirsten Johnston has put out to her folks. Now she's a media mogul now. She's pushed this along. She sent it out the other day for people to do the same thing, because Silver Magazine is coming out this Tuesday, March 19th.
Perfect.
Guess who's in there? Where our picture's going to be in there,
Doc Hamels is in there.
But it's all about bullying and the websites, and I don't know if the photo's going to make it or not because the space is tight. But nonetheless, the article's there. It's going to be talking about
Wonderful.
the project we did and the website. So if you want to find the website, is the Rotary website or the YWCA and so
Yes.
forth, that's
Well,
something.
and we posted it. The YWCA has 2 Facebook pages. We have a general agency Facebook page, and we have a specific arts and crafts Facebook page. And it's been posted on our general YWCA page. So if you're a friend of the Y, you can link to it that way and pass it on as well.
You know, we were talking a little bit ago about the article that was recently in the paper covering this event, and there's only so much space that you can have in the paper, and we were talking about maybe we should elaborate just a wee bit more about, like that little Irish wee there, I put that in whenever I can, to elaborate a bit more about bullying. So, when I was growing up, there was always some of the punk, the kid that was always picking on somebody, and it was usually boys going to fisticuffs and so forth. We always see that. But what I've read in my research over the years when I was in education, the boys are the boys, and that's not even the greatest concern nowadays. It's the girls against the girls. Can you speak to that at all?
Well, mean girls is quite an interesting phenomenon.
This is very important. Have a listen now.
We do have an after-school program, and when I talk with the after-school program directors and their staff, they tell me that it is the mean girls that bully, and it's a hard thing to get a handle on because it's not pushing you down in the hall, it's not a fight, it's not a physical bullying that Jen and I might remember. Right. It's the tisking and the eye rolling, I call it, the rumors, the innuendos that are hard. Yeah, that are hard to fight. And although they don't seem so traumatic to adults, for teenagers and middle schoolers who are still trying to figure themselves out, identify themselves, create some self-esteem, it can be pretty devastating to have one of the other girls call you out or make fun of you or point out something wrong about you. So it is a hard thing to get a handle on, and it seems to be quite pervasive in the schools. It's, like I said, difficult because it's not so visible, and there's always some excuse. Think back to when you were raising kids and you said, "You did that." "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." You looked at them. How do you punish somebody for looking at something? Yeah, all of that thing. But we felt it was important to recognize it and to give the kids a way to get some help. And it might sound pretty foolish to an adult to say, "She looked at me," or "She taunted me," or "She bumped me in the hall," or "She looked me up and down and made me feel inadequate because of my clothes or my grades," or whatever. So we wanted to try to bring it to the forefront, and here again, give these kids somebody to talk to, somebody to reach out to, maybe share some stories with. Yeah, I as an adult sometimes have to think I'm just as good as everybody else. It doesn't matter what you wear, it doesn't matter what you have for lunch. Think about how important you are as a person.
Right, and one of the things that we didn't have to deal with when we were growing up was the technology.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is the part grandparents, aunts, uncles have a listen now. How fast can you get a very embarrassing picture to the world instantly now. These kids are texting, they are putting pictures. Let's just say Katie was wearing mismatched clothes, or me with mismatched socks or something. Somebody takes a picture on their iPhone, it's on Facebook. Everybody in the room is laughing, and the person that's in that situation doesn't even know about it, all right? They're texting each other, okay? And meanwhile, the body language is going like,
Yeah.
or the eyes are rolling and so forth. And the teachers are going, what's going on? Oh, nothing. We're just having a little joke. Everything's fine. But the part I want to get to right now is, and I don't want to spend the whole time on bullying, but this is just such an important topic. All right, so you have a girl that's 12, 13, 14, 15, a boy, whatever. What happens when they move on to their teens, adulthood?
Oh.
Does this go away?
I don't think so. I think social media is here to stay,
right.
And it's so instantaneous that you have very little control over it. It happens so quickly, and you don't really know what's happening. We have a grandson that lives with us, and the texting, I say to my husband, I guess we're fortunate that it is just, what are you doing? Not much. What about you? Going out, blah, blah, blah. Just quick little snippets of information, but it happens so quickly that it's hard to control and can very easily turn into stalking. Kids don't have the filter, I find this pretty amazing, to ignore the reach. I pity the poor kids that get caught up in the texting because they don't have the ability to just ignore it. Just turn the phone off and, oh, I might miss something important. What if somebody wants me? Well, no, but it's just nonsense that they're texting back to you. Ignore it. But kids don't have that filter.
What's the long-term effect of something like this?
I think here again, I'm not a child psychologist and haven't really done a lot of study.
Just a mom, a grandma.
Well, I think it's a terribly heightened sense of nervousness of what is going to happen. Is it good enough? Is it always going to be good enough? You yourself is what makes you good enough. Other people's opinion is important, but I don't think that should be the deciding factor. You need to be comfortable in your own skin. You can't constantly be checking your phone to see if somebody else felt it was appropriate.
And this is it's such a good topic since we're talking about the YW and ladies, girls, women, because this bullying goes on.
Yeah.
It goes on, either it continues into adulthood. Oh, that's what's her face, you know, she was da-da-da-da in school, and then they pull out the pictures, or remember this, because once it's on the internet, it's out there forever, but it's the scarring, the emotional scarring, and so forth. But let's now tie the YWCA in, okay? To me, when I always think of the YW, the YM, I always think of safe haven. I think it's some place to go, like the songs talk about. So let's talk a little bit about if there was a young lady or a woman or a child, what does the YW do for you?
Well, we're very fortunate that we have extensive after-school programming. We're in the Westfield School District with our after-school programming, so the kids do have a safe place after school. There's a fair number of adults and older students that run the programs, so there are positive role models that way for the kids to reach out to. During the summer months, I think we have a pretty unique program. We just refer to it as the Girls Program.
And where are you? Where is this?
It's right at the Y.
Where's that?
At 58 South Portage Street in Westfield.
Okay.
That's where our administrative offices are. We run a lot of our programs off-site, as I mentioned, at the Westfield School. We have a preschool and a preschool daycare at the church across the street. But during the summer months, the kids come to our building for daycare. And carved out of the daycare program, independent of that, is the girls program that runs for 6 weeks in the summer. And we focus on building self-esteem, confidence, leadership, tolerance, getting along. We have a general philosophy in our youth services that you don't have to be best friends with everybody, but you have to be friends, you have to be polite, you have to be civil, you have to be cordial to everybody. It's very unrealistic to expect you will like everybody, even as a child. Adults don't like everybody.
Isn't it strange that you have to be talking about those things?
Well,
why is that?
It's a different age. Kids are raised so much differently than we were. I hate to sound like an old person, but when we were raised, that was the way things were.
I can still hear the jangle of my father's belt buckle.
Well,
I can still hear my mother getting the wooden spoon out of the drawer.
Yeah, just be civil. We say that a lot at our house, especially with our grandson. Just be nice.
Yeah.
And he seems to have the attitude that that's not how kids are nowadays. And I keep saying to him, it doesn't have anything to do with nowadays. Be nice. Just be nice.
Yep.
If you can't be anything else, just be nice. You don't have to go out of your way to be mean. And that's the philosophy we try to follow at the Y in all of our youth services. There certainly are different cliques, different groups of kids that get together. And all we ask is that they be polite and nice to each other. When we travel, because there's a group of them, we travel in a pack and everybody has a buddy. And all we ask is that you be polite and cordial to your buddy and watch out for their well-being. You're not going to go home and be their best friend. Hopefully you won't get into the texting mode with them all, but just be nice to them. So the Y can offer that support to the middle and high schoolers, even the younger kids that are involved in our programs. We try to give them that sense of self, positive role models, a message of tolerance and behavior, the expectations that we all have as adults for them.
Great. Let's roll back time a little bit. I cannot tell you much about the YWCA. I don't know who founded it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's based on something from another country. What do the letters stand for? I mean, the only thing I know is there's that song YMCA, and there's, you do the hand gestures during the song and all that sort of thing. Yeah. But tell us, about the whole organization. I don't think many people know about it.
Well, I unfortunately can't tell you the actual founder, but I can tell you that the YWCA was formed in the early 1800s.
No kidding.
In New York City, and has moved itself across not only the United States, but across the world. So there are YWCAs worldwide, and they were started as virtually a safe haven for women.
All right.
Women left the farm and came to the big city to find employment and needed a place to stay. So they grew up as housing units. Women needed protection in labor movements, so they were involved in the first labor movements.
Wow.
They were involved in early civil rights issues. And interestingly enough, the archives at the Westfield Y show where we offered Americanization classes to the immigrant population in Westfield.
What year was that?
Well, probably in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Right at the height of the big wave.
There was a significant immigrant population, and the Y felt it was their mission to help these young women become American citizens, to become incorporated into the culture, the mores of the society. So there were classes in cooking, sewing, American history, just in general how to, excuse me, how to incorporate them into society.
Now, are you church related? Because the C stands for Christian.
Young Women's Christian Association. And Christian is a small c, Christian meaning open, welcoming, warm, inviting, inclusive, not Christian, the big C, as a religion.
Okay, interesting. Now, what's the connection with the YMCA?
There really is no connection. We're two entirely separate entities, affiliations. Certainly have the same philosophy of supporting people, recognizing families, youth, community service, but there really is no connection. And not to be sexist and a little self-serving, the YMCA in Westfield did not survive. There was a YMCA in Westfield at one point.
Behind every YMCA, there's a strong silent YWCA.
And just by virtue of what the YWCA offered, they were able to continue down the path of service to the community, and the YMCA in Westfield ceased to exist probably, I want to say, in the 30s and 40s. And it might have had something to do with the war movement and the men being called to service and the women being left at home, and so they continue to need a place to turn to.
Yep. Well, it's so interesting to see how organizations are affected by the times and the events in the world.
Sure.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the facilities, okay? Well, I've been there a number of times, all right? And when you drive by the Westfield YWCA, it looks like a beautiful old home, right? But I got to tell you, you can't judge this house by its front door, okay? What's inside there?
The new front door.
The new front door.
Door.
What's inside?
Well, you mentioned it looks like a beautiful older home, and that's because that's what the building started out as. It was the homestead of the Patterson family. Hannah Patterson lived there, and when she passed on, she bequeathed it to the library. And so for a point in time, it was the Patterson Library. She also left them an endowment and a sum of money, but the library board did not feel it was adequate to construct a library. So the 58 South Portage address became a library for a number of years while they continued to invest and raise money to build the Patterson Library that's 3 or 4 doors down from us.
I did not know that.
Once the library left the building in 1904, the YWCA, which had been meeting in people's homes, church parlors, various other places around the village, moved into the building and has been in residence there since 1904. I believe, I actually want to say we're coming up on a significant anniversary because it was early April that the deed was actually transferred.
Wow.
And it's been the YWCA since that period of time. The administrative offices sit in the front of the building. We have a very large meeting hall, we refer to it as the assembly room, that we took the picture in, and people do rent it for baby showers, birthday parties, seminars, workshops.
Has the original beautiful hardwood floors
It
that
does.
creak a little bit. It's got a very nice ambiance.
Kind of rolly.
It's got the built-in
There's a lovely window
settee, or whatever you would call that, a bay window.
We have an upright piano that Rotarian Jack Dean donated to us in the corner that still is functioning and playable. And there's a lovely full-service kitchen adjacent that people can use when they have a function. About 20 years ago, there was an addition put on, and the addition houses our fitness center, a full-size gymnasium that we use for tumbling, karate, Zumba, exercise classes, school-age drop-in. Kids love to come and play basketball. And then there's a separate room where the adult daycare center meets.
Adult daycare? Can you tell us about that? What is it?
Excuse me, you're choking me up here, John.
Well, I'll let you clear your voice. If you haven't been in the facility, I watch in one day and I go like, what's this all about? I'm looking at these people and they're on these real modern exercise bikes and treadmills and they're checking their cardio and their pulses. Yeah. And then I went, this is a little true confession here, I went through a wrong door. First it was the closet, and then you know which one I'm talking about. They got those bends and turns. And then I went to another room, and there's this huge room, which was a gymnasium. I go, where did this come up? I didn't even know it was here. I just lived in the next town over. I'm in Westfield all the time.
Yeah, it's a full-size gymnasium. It's got basketball hoops at each end of it, a series of mats that we use for our tumbling classes. And here again, the kids come after school, and if there are no other functions going on and there's staff in the building, we let them in to play basketball.
Okay, let's get back to adult
daycare.
What does that mean?
We lease this room to the Chautauqua Adult Daycare Center 3 days a week, where senior citizens come and have supervision, activities, companionship. They serve them snacks, they take field trips. It's an extra little program that Chautauqua Adult Daycare Center runs, and we just are fortunate to lease them space.
Chautauqua Adult Daycare. Now, they're not part of the Y.
They're not part of the Y. We do lease them the building space, but we don't manage or run the programs. It's like any other facility by virtue of being there. I can say, oh no, they're here on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. They go to lunch, they have activities, they have a lot of fun, they're a good bunch. Bring your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa to visit.
So if folks are interested or watching, they could contact you?
Sure, they can contact us and I can give them the phone number.
Well, give them a phone number.
Well, the Y phone number is 326-2011. And if you call that number and you ask for adult daycare, I will reach over to my little Rolodex and give you that number.
There you go.
Yep.
So the Y is really like almost like a resource.
Well, we're a resource center, and by virtue of my background and my longevity in human services, I tend to be a personal resource, although I try not to tell people actually where to go. Oftentimes, we just get a lot of questions, just because we're a community center, we've been there a long time. People do call us, they walk in, they ask questions, and it's important because we are a community center, we are have longevity in the village, that we want to be warm, welcoming, don't want to turn people away, that we try to answer their questions. I don't want to discount our Y business, and that's my primary focus, but I very rarely say to somebody, that's not what we do, go away.
Okay, you mentioned one of the things that you have over there. Now, I'm a musician, I'm not a dancer, I don't do a lot of this stuff, but what is Zumba dancing? What is that?
Zumba is
Zumba.
Well, it's actually an
I like the sound of
exercise
that.
class.
Oh,
it's
exercise,
a fast-paced exercise class set to what you would consider hip-hop and Caribbean music.
So Randy and I could go out and do Zumba dancing. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing it right now. Zumba.
Probably the song I can think of most is any Ricky Martin song that has that fast beat to it. I'm not going to sing for you, but yeah, get a beat going, get a beat going. And it's just an hour long of dancing and moves. I've only participated a couple times, and I can't keep up the choreography. But I console myself with at least I'm moving. I'm doing something.
So they don't have like a waltz or foxtrot Zumba?
Oh, not at all. No, 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 no.
A little bit slower.
Do you
all right. So our viewers say, well, I'm not going to do Zumba, it's too fast. Do you have anything for people that may not be Zumba?
Well, we do actually. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10:30, we have an adult exercise class that is available free with your membership to the Y and open to all ages. And there are chairs set up so that if you're an older person and need some help with your balance, you have a chair to hold on to. Our instructor is wonderful. She will help you make the moves fit your ability.
Who's your instructor?
Ann Cochran.
Okay.
Comes in 3 days a week. I think she has a substitute because she's off on one of these spring break vacations, cruises or whatever. But they come in 3 mornings a week and work out. She's probably got 15 or 20 ladies in there. 1 or 2 men sneak in every so often.
The token males.
The token males. We don't discriminate. We let the men come in. And she spends an hour putting them through some stretching, some weightlifting, some balance exercises. It's been tremendously well received, and everybody comes out saying how much better they feel.
And I bet most folks don't even know that you have that right here in the area.
Well, we're growing. Well, they must, because we're growing.
You're growing.
We get a contingent that comes in.
Let's talk about membership. What does it cost? Who can join? Is it open to men as well? What's the deal?
Well, like I said, we don't discriminate. We let anybody join. We have a couple levels of membership. We have an adult membership, which is $25 a year that supports the Y.
$25?
$25 a year. That's it.
Okay, what do you get for $25?
You get to support the Y.
All right, so, all right, keep going.
Well, you can come to that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday morning exercise class for free. You get a discount in any of your facility rentals that you want, and you do have the support of the Y.
So if you want to get an exercise program for $25, think about it, and this includes the bikes and all that too?
No, this is, no, the fitness center's different.
This is just exercise.
This is
the
just
slow Zumba.
The slow Zumba, the adult Zumba.
Okay. What's the next level?
Yeah, and then seniors is 15 and youth is 10. And that's basically supporting membership of the Y.
Okay.
We have a number of people who just are happy and want to support the Y. Once you have your membership in place, then we offer you the opportunity to purchase visits to the fitness center where you saw the bikes, the treadmills, the steppers, the rower, the weights.
Those aren't cheap, are they? They're expensive.
Well, the machines are not expensive, but here again, you can buy any number of visits you want to use the fitness center. We give you an access code and count down your visits. So if you wanted to buy 10, 20, 50 visits, however many visits fit your lifestyle, you could buy that many visits when you come into the fitness center.
Randy and I are pretty fit, so we just need like, what, 2 or 3 just to kind of tune up? What's it cost for?
Well, but you wanted to come more than once or twice.
Oh, all right. So what's it going to cost?
Well, you could, for $50, you could buy 50 visits.
$1 a visit?
Yes.
That's it?
I know, you make me feel terrible that we're so cheap.
No.
Well, we're not cheap. We're economical and encouraging because we don't want price to be a barrier to people's exercise.
That's wonderful.
But with those 50 visits, you can come 3 times a week, twice a week, once a week. They don't expire. They stay on your account for the whole year that your membership is valid. We work hard to make this complicated.
That's awesome.
And your PIN number gets you in from 5 o'clock in the morning until midnight, 7 days a week.
You're open a long time.
Well, because it's self-monitored, you have an access code that gets you in.
Okay.
I don't have to be there all those hours watching you work out.
That's good.
And here again, the visits don't expire, so you could use them all. Maybe you want to use a lot of them now to get ready for spring break. The warm weather comes, you're outside, you don't work out so much, it rains, you come in, you can use them. So it's pretty flexible as far as the time frame.
Okay, $25 is your membership, supporting membership. You said $15 for seniors?
For seniors.
What's a senior? How do you define
60
it?
and over, we define it.
I
So
made
come
it.
on down.
I made it.
Come
Bob
on
Terry
down.
Berry and I will be down.
All right, very good.
Okay, there's some other things that are going on that you sponsor, I know.
We're a
what else
busy
is going
place. Now you'll have to write this down or give us a call, or we do put a column in the Westfield and Dunkirk paper every week. Coming up on March 22nd at 6 o'clock, we have Danny Russo, who's a nationally known fitness trainer, coming to the Y. And he's going to do a seminar for women only, designed to give you a kickstart, to boost you up and get you in an exercise routine. And here again, that's free to all of our area residents, not membership driven, but it is focused on women only. But that's 6 o'clock on Friday, the 22nd. We're going to start the summer vacation with a workout routine.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Let's talk a little bit down the road about your big event in July.
July 26th and 27th will be the 41st Annual Arts and Crafts Festival in Moore Park. This goes on rain or shine. A lot of people don't realize the YWCA has sponsored this for the last 21 years. It originally was privately run, and after 20 years was turned over to the Y, and it's one of our biggest fundraisers. There's about 150 vendors that come in. Entertainment is provided, and we're working with some other musicians to fill in. We can't ask Doc to play for 2 days. I ask him, but he says no.
Well, no, we have something important going on, and I'll talk about that
That's
another
true.
time the next day.
But so we're looking for musicians. If you're a musician, if you're a high-quality handmade craft vendor, if you are an entertainer of any sort and you want to come, give us a call at the Y and we'll see where we can fit you in. We have till July to fill up our spots. But here again, it's about 150, 175 vendors that will show you some amazing things that they have created.
How many people come to the show? Best guess.
Probably 8,000 to 10,000.
That's a lot of people.
And it's weather dependent.
Sure.
It goes on rain or shine. So if it's kind of a rainy, nasty day, we don't quite get the crowds. But there are, here again, stories of people walking around with their umbrellas. I've been fortunate that I've brought good weather to that weekend for the last 3 years, so we're going to keep the streak going. But you have to expect some years it's not going to be as nice, and people have been out with their umbrellas and their waders, going through the park, picking up some treasures.
It's a great time. Bill and I will be playing on that Friday, and we'll be doing some American and Irish folk tunes there. And I know we had a great lineup last year, so
and we've started to reach out again this year to some of the returning groups and some new groups that we'd like to get interested. And it's a wonderful weekend. The whole community turns out. We get a lot of support from the village, from the fire department. It really and truly is a community effort.
Katie, believe it or not, we've been talking forever. I'm looking at the clock and going, holy mackerel, we were running out of time. Folks, I hope you've been enjoying the show with Katie Smith, the Executive Director of the YWCA in Westfield. And we don't have time for any calls. We didn't have any calls today, but we can't take any at this point, so we're shutting off the phones. But Katie, why don't you take about 30 seconds and talk about anything that you want to talk about as far as programs in the YWCA.
Well, I guess my message to the community is think about the YWCA for a lot of purposes. Think about us for your fitness and your wellness. Think about us if you're looking for a place to have a baby shower, birthday party, some type of family gathering. We also have 5 bedrooms upstairs that are available for rental if you have family coming in.
And the number is
326-2011.
Okay.
We have it posted on the door too, in case you come to the Y and we're not there and you want to call us. You can call us, the number's on the door. But we try to be a community center. We try to be full spectrum, providing services to the community. If there's a class you're interested in that you'd like to offer, talk to us. If you have a group of friends that want to get together and offer something to the community, give us a call. We try to be there to respond to the needs of more than the Westfield community, but the whole Westfield area up there.
Katie, thanks for being our
Well,
guest
thank
today.
you very much. Can I?
Put your shamrocks
it, Val. I
back
don't
on.
wanna-
Go for it.
All right, here we go.
Everybody have a wonderful St. Patrick's
Happy
Day
St. Patrick's
weekend.
Day, everybody.
Enjoy the family and the stories. Take it easy on the drinking, especially if you're driving. And before we close out the show, I want to tell Reed, I hope you had a safe trip back home. We're going to see him back here at the studios next Saturday. Today marks the 900th show, they tell me. So it's a big celebration. So it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, and this is the 900th show. I want to thank Randy Burt for on camera, Chris out back, Jeff Zook, and all the crew, all the folks that make it possible. You're going to see their names show up. Here they come now, right up here. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for viewing. If you have questions next week,